to a president or a party, but to the Constitution of the United States. While I concede this election, I do not concede the fight that fueled this campaign.
Well, after losing in both the Electoral College and the popular vote, Kamala Harris addressing her supporters as she concedes the presidential race. Later this morning, though, President Joe Biden addressing the nation. This is for the first time since the election.
VP Harris calling Trump yesterday afternoon to congratulate him on his historic victory. Let's welcome in now Lee Nevis, a Democratic strategist. Also joining us, Mark Lauder, former special assistant to President Trump. Welcome to you both. Lee, let me start with you. As the Democrat here on the panel, what runs through your mind today as to why we aren't celebrating President-elect Harris today?
I think the Democratic Party needs to recenter itself. Democrats lost for a couple reasons. There was a Democrat consultant out here who kind of put it best. The Trump campaign spent their time and money telling voters they were right, and the Democrats were spending all their time and money telling voters they were wrong. Voters were anxious about the economy. 60% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. They wanted to hear about how they were good. They want people to make their lives just that much better. That's what voters want. Make my life just that much better. And they weren't hearing it from the Democratic Party. And also, look, Democrats got beat hard by people who are not college educated. And Democrats have an image problem. It seems like, especially the non-college educated, feel like the Democratic Party's talking down to them. Like, oh, we're smarter than you, and you need to listen to us because we're smarter. And that's not okay. Needs to get back to being the party that was under Bill Clinton, to an extent under Obama, but more of a middle class. We're going to worry about your paycheck, making sure you can put food on your table and have a roof over your head, and have safe streets and neighborhoods. That's the party we need to get back to being to.
Well, if that was the message, what would have happened, what might have been from Lee and Mark, just to that point, there's obviously finger pointing happening, a blame game, Democrats reportedly directing their anger. Take a look at Time Magazine over losing the race towards Joe Biden, blaming him for setting up Kamala Harris for failure by not dropping out sooner. Senator Bernie Sanders blasting his party, posting, "It should come as no great surprise that a Democratic Party which has abandoned working class people would find that the working class has abandoned them." While the Democratic leadership defends the status quo, the American people are angry and want change, and they're right, unquote. And that goes to Lee's point. Mark, the floor is yours.
No, absolutely. And look, bipartisanship this morning, I think Lee's got it right, is absolutely right on this. But the problem was that Kamala Harris isn't the change. She is a continuation of the same. And that's why every vice president who has sought the presidency right after serving as vice president, only one of them's ever done it. And that is George H.W. Bush, or at least in the last 120 years or so, 90 years. And that's because people wanted a third term of Ronald Reagan. People were unhappy with the first term of Joe Biden. 3/4 of the American people think our country's on the wrong track. Why do you think having the vice president be Joe Biden's second term would have been a winning strategy? And then to just double down and say, I can't think of a single thing we would do differently, to me, that was the telling moment of the whole campaign.
Who knew one stop by the ladies of The View would have pinpointed where her campaign potentially went wrong? At least that's how Republicans saw it, or those GOP voters this time. Lee Nevis and Mark Lauder, thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.